Hello, everyone. I wanted to go live because I promised a few people that I would go live with the sentencing of four of the Marcy correctional officers that unalived Robert Brooks. So I will no longer hold you. Let's get it started. When you come in, please hit the like, hit the like, hit the like. If you have not subscribed, subscribe, hit the post notification bell for whenever I upload. Subscribe. I can't say it enough. I can't. Subscribe, subscribe. Let's go.
System that you are entering. This time, we're in green instead of blue. Now, Your Honor, I will read the statement from Jared Ricks, the brother of the victim. Good morning. My name is Jared Ricks, and I am the brother of Robert Brooks. My brother was my idol growing up. He was wise beyond his years, had a heart of gold, and lit up any room he walked in. I will not allow these fateful final moments to define his legacy. Over the last 11 months, my family has felt so many emotions. Grief, anger, resentment, hopelessness are all at the top of that list. Witnessing someone you love being treated with such cruelty by the correctional officers of the New York State Department of Corrections and Community Supervision has opened our eyes to the atrocities transpiring behind those walls. My brother's situation was an anomaly. Not because these organized beatings of incarcerated individuals don't happen. We know that they do. But because the 30-minute recording of the body-worn cameras exists. We've heard countless stories that mirror the events of December 9th, 2024, but justice was not served. Today, we get justice. Today, we heal just a little bit, knowing that you are no longer authoritative figures of this system that failed Robert Brooks. You will now have a unique experience of going from officer to convict. As you men begin your journey into the New York State Department of Corrections, I hope your welcome committee shows more grace than you gave my brother on December 9th of 2024. Your Honor, we would just ask that these statements be incorporated to the following sentences of the other co-defendants. We will read those for each one of those sentences. Your Honor, I'll just briefly follow up with a statement from the people. And Judge, obviously there's not much more that I can say that the family, Mr. Brooks and Mr. Brooks, haven't already. And it is important that we now get to shift our gear.
Why must people say dumb stuff? I'm not even going to look at the chat because chat, if you're going to come here and say stupid stuff, leave.
And I think Mr. Ricks and Mr. Brooks appropriately stated
this is the sentencing
and that's important to know.
Of the COs that unalived Robert Brooks. Don't play with me.
A sense of who he could have been, not for him coming across these individuals. When we circle back to the beginning of this investigation,
and when you come in, hit the like. Hit the like. Hit the like. Hit the like. You can come in with all that nonsense, but you don't hit the like. If you rocking with me, hit the like.
In search of safety and security.
I don't have no time for no foolishness. The like is free. Hit it, smack it, rub it, whatever you got to do.
It came to light that he was seeking safety and protection from the wrong place, unfortunately. That when he received that welcoming committee, it was not from the individuals that were supposed to be protecting him, and yet it was those individuals that became his abusers. throughout the investigation, you'll see, or we've seen, that he's beaten, he is broken, he is unprotected, he is unsafe, and these men took advantage of that, of a man in that dire straits. And it is unfortunate that we won't be able to see what Mr. Brooks would have done with his life after he exited that facility. We have gotten to know Mr. Brooks and Mr. Ricks very well throughout this process, and I've heard a lot about who their loved one was, and I got to see who he was in their eyes and how they spoke about him and who the men they are. And I can only imagine that Mr. Brooks would have been the same if given that opportunity. Judge, these correctional officers are in a facility and doing a very hard job. And in this investigation, it is said many times that they are living the same life as those individuals when they go behind that wall. But the truth of the matter is, Your Honor, the expectations of these officers are different. They are held to a higher standard. They are behind that walls to be better, to do better, to help individuals be better once they are released. This investigation has shed light that is not happening, that did not happen, that they took away that opportunity from Mr. Brooks. It said in the statement that they hope that he gets treated better than their loved one was. And truly speaking, Judge, I don't know if that will happen. But I will say, and I will echo that I said to the family, that the death of Mr. Brooks has shed light on that. So at least now we know there is a potential that these things won't happen again, and that these individuals, these incarcerated individuals, these men and women serving their time will be granted that opportunity to be better once they leave. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Woodcourt. Mr. Rihanna, would you like to hear?
Not just briefly. I come to know Anthony well about this case. What appears on body on camera is not the man I know. For 24 and a half years, he served in the New York State Department of Corrections as an officer, one of the most demanding and dangerous jobs in public service. An environment where officers routinely berated, assaulted, and placed in harm's way. Having served in that role myself, I understand firsthand the toll that takes. Despite those conditions, Anthony served with honor, professionalism, and courage. His personal record reflects multiple accommodations, including several occasions where he intervened and rescued inmates. Outside of his service to the state, he's been a devoted husband for more than 20 years.
Yeah.
And children who are positive, productive members of this community. From the outset, Anthony has expressed genuine remorse. He understands that the situation here deteriorated regardless of the circumstances unfolding, and he knows he should have intervened. While friends and family urged him to continue fighting these charges, he insisted on taking responsibility and directing the resolve of this case. Some may attempt to define him solely what occurred on December 9th, 2024. But that isolated moment does not erase a lifetime of honorable service, personal sacrifice, and meaningful contribution. His character, his career, the way he's lived his life, the family he's raised, speaks truly to who he is. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rihanna. Mr. Farina, was there anything you want to say prior to being sentenced?
No, sir.
Well, for the record, if any did waive his right to appeal at the time of this plea, so I'll not be going over those rights again. One thing I want to clarify, I did receive your sentencing agreement, Mr. Rihanna, and with the number of statements on Mr. Farina's behalf that were attached there too. There was one overriding theme, and you read many of them, which implored me to show leniency and impose a sentence less than was agreed to by the parties. So we're all very clear and very much on the same page. This is an agreed upon sentence. This is an agreement that was reached between the prosecution and the defense. At this juncture, this court has no authority for the people's asking to sentence to a minute more than was agreed to, or for anyone else is asking to sentence to a minute less than was agreed to. The agreed upon sentence is what will be imposed here today. As of conviction for manslaughter hereby sentenced to a determinate sentence of 22 years in state prison. In addition, there is imposed 5 years of post-release supervision, along with a mandatory surcharge, crime victim, and DNA fees, which will total $375. Defendant is committed for the term of the sentence. The bail will be released, however, the proposed form you sent to me suggested that I was returning that to you, but it was posted by a Diane Fareed.
Correct.
It'll be returned to Diane Fareed.
I know you're not trying to get the bail money.
This is the matter of people against Nicholas Anzalone, indicted 25035. This matter is on for sentencing. As back on September 22nd, the defendant pled guilty to 1 count of manslaughter in the first degree, with the agreed upon sentence being 22 years in state prison with 5 years post-release supervision, a waiver of appeal, and surcharges. Is that the people's understanding?
It is, Your Honor.
Counsel, that's your understanding?
It is, Judge.
Do the people then move sentence?
People so move, Your Honor.
Would you like to be heard?
Briefly, Your Honor, as I previously stated, we were provided the impact statement that I read, and I would just like for the record that that be attached to this sentencing, Mr. Anzalone as well. And again, Judge, I won't belabor any of the points that I've already stated under Mr. Fareed's sentencing, but, you know, Your Honor, I think it is important that while we have seen the videos, the relevant videos in this case many times.
When you come
both
in,
the media, in the trial,
please hit the like, hit the like, hit the like, hit the like. It's free, hit the like.
And truthfully speaking, I don't want to harp on that video any more than we have to, because it was traumatic for all that have watched. It was obviously traumatic for the family experiencing the loss of their loved one and having to...
Thank you. Another person hit the like. Whoever that was. Thank you so much. I so appreciate it. Subscribe and hit the like. Please do. I deserve it. I've been working very hard. Let me be quiet so y'all can hear.
All of the violent attacks and assaults and abusive behavior that he inflicted on the victim. Your Honor, what is really troubling and what really affects the people in this situation is the face and expressions of Mr. Anzalone during that assault.
Oh, wow.
Of all of the defendants and all of the individuals that were present and or assisting in that assault, Mr. Anzalone seemed to be the one that got enjoyment from it. There seems to be many points during that assault where it was not only gratuitous, but it was enjoyable. Now, that is one of the most concerning things about this case and the Department of Corrections as it stands right now, and the atrocities that go on in those facilities. That there are individuals like Mr. Anzalone who aren't trying to maintain order, that aren't trying to restrain individuals for safety of other officers or other incarcerated individuals, but are using force because he can, because he enjoys it, because they are at his will. Again, Your Honor, the family has spoken on many occasions about their loved one, about Mr. Brooks. And you can see in the video as well, he seemed like a very kind-hearted person, and his loved ones echo that and express that and confirm that. That meant nothing to Mr. Anzalone, because he did not see Mr. Brooks he did not see the potential in Mr. Brooks. He saw someone that he could control and that he could dominate. That is what's troubling about this case and this investigation and this defendant. And it was stated in the impact statement that there's hope that he is treated better than Mr. Brooks was, and that there is a potential or a hope that he doesn't get the welcoming committee.
Okay.
I do hope that as well, Your Honor. And I do hope that he is afforded an opportunity to be better and grow from his experience when he is inside. But truly, I fear that he will and has learned nothing. Because a person that we saw do what he did on that video and take the pleasure in that is someone that I don't think is redeemable at all. And I think that his time
Oh my
inside
goodness.
is for the benefit
You got
of
your
this
point.
community.
The judge gonna give him what he wants
Because
to.
the community and others needed protection from him that Mr. Brooks couldn't get. Thank you.
Counsel, would you like to hear it before sentencing?
Briefly before comments, Judge, I have character reference letters that I previously provided this morning to the District Attorney's Office. I wonder if we'd be able to ask that they accompany the pre-sentence report along with them.
Are those above and beyond what was already forwarded to me by email?
Mr. Sofranco had forwarded them. Do you know when that was? Apologies.
Yesterday. I've been being peppered with those one after another right through yesterday, and I did attach each of those to the pre-sentence investigation already.
Perfect, Judge, and I appreciate that. The other aspect is there's, based on medical conditions and type 1.
Don't nobody care about that.
Letter from Representative.
Let the judge say what he got to say. You should have thought about that before.
The pre-sentence report as it goes into the prison.
You're welcome to attach that as well.
Thank you, Judge. Right, anyone else?
Yes.
Let me make comments, Judge. I was really wanted to talk about, in all this time of Representative Mr. Angelo, not just him, and echo comments that Mr. Riotto made about service and character, having met his client for so long. I was going to talk about Mr. Angelo's family, and I'm going to do that briefly, but
Why are you going to
in
talk
direct
about his
response to
family?
comments, I've been speaking to Mr. Angelo
They going to
for months
jail.
before even the finalization of the investigation and ultimate arrest earlier this year.
Oh my goodness.
And Mr. Angelo,
Oh, I did not mean to do that, y'all. I did not mean to do that. I did not mean to do that. I was getting up because he made me mad. He want to talk about the family. Don't want to hear about the family now.
is not that person.
Should have thought about his family before he was
The sentence report
beaten up.
shows that,
Rob.
well, that's the decision that he made and was prepared and ready and will be sentenced for it. That the sum and character of Mr. Angelo is beyond that as well. It is not solely that one incident.
Please hit the like.
I've said many times, individuals
Please
need
hit
to and
the
are
like.
punished for
Please hit the like.
worst.
Please hit the like when you come
Mr. Angelo
on
takes no question.
in.
Repeatedly
Hey,
throughout this case,
please hit the
it's been
like.
acknowledged in many ways,
Please
up
hit
to
the
and
like
including his
when you
conviction
come
and manslaughter,
on
that Mr. Angelo
in.
never wished for
And
Mr.
subscribe,
Brooks death.
subscribe,
Acknowledges his
subscribe,
role
subscribe
in that
to
cause.
my
He's clear from the beginning about the
channel.
intent to injure.
Hey, come
We're
on,
not in
subscribe,
any way
subscribe,
negating that.
subscribe, subscribe to my
Mr. Brooks' death and the
channel.
horrific tragedy
Please
that
hit the
is
like.
not something
Please hit
that
the
Mr.
like.
Angelo, in either
Please
his
hit the
actions or after, in
like.
any of those moments,
I did all that singing. Hit the like and subscribe. Mr. Lawyer, hurry up. Hurry up. Oh my goodness. None of that matters now. Okay?
What I've also gotten to know is his wife, his parents.
No, but look, we don't want to talk about no wife, no parents. He knew he had a wife. He knew he had parents before he was beating up inmates.
At any point could ever allege that those individuals had any involvement or had any
My goodness.
fault in this crime.
I bet you his parents didn't know he was beating up inmates.
That Mr. Angelo knows as well.
So move and hurry up and let the judge say what he got to say.
His family,
Do what he got to
as
do.
well as to his own, it's reflected as coming through, I believe, in the pre-sentence report nonetheless.
Oh.
Genuine. As they've said, the government has said at multiple points, Mr. Brooks tragically was not given the opportunity to show who he could be after. I echo those comments. That is a tragedy.
Yeah, it is a tragedy. So move your bald head, your big bald head, and let the judge do what he gotta do. Oh my gosh. We all seen what happened that day.
Counsel, if you have additional copies of those character letters you wanted, I'll take them. They seem to have been separated from the PSI after it was provided to you.
My apologies and thank you,
Mr. Anzalone, is there anything you want to say prior to the sentence? Note for the record that the defendant waived his right to appeal at the time of his plea, so I'm not going over those rights again. I've been at this a long time, and I've seen a lot of terrible things in this room. I've never seen so many lives destroyed in a moment.
Wow, I know. This really is. I'm just joking, but this is really sad.
The defendant is sentenced as follows. As to the conviction for manslaughter in the first degree, the defendant is hereby sentenced to a determinate sentence of 22 years in state prison. That is along with 5 years post-release supervision. In addition, there is imposed a mandatory surcharge, crime victim, and DNA fees, which will total $375.
Another
The
22.
defendant is committed for the term of his sentence.
Judge look like he about to cry. He about to cry. Oh wow. Wife and kids. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Nobody wins. Nobody really wins.
Good morning, Thomas Capezza, on behalf of Michael Mashaw.
Good morning, Mr. Professor. Oh, Mr. Professor, you're being returned your client's passport. This is the matter of the people against Michael Mashaw, indicted 25035. This matter is on for sentencing today. Back on September 22nd, defendant pled guilty to 1 count of manslaughter in the second degree, with an agreed upon sentence of 3 to 9 years in state prison, along with mandatory state surcharges. Is that the people's understanding?
It is, Your Honor.
Mr. Capezza, that's your understanding?
Yes, Your Honor, and he has not waived his right to appeal.
Correct. That's my understanding as well. Will the people then move sentence?
We do, Your Honor.
Would you like to be heard?
Briefly, Your Honor. Again, we would incorporate the statements made by Mr. Brooks Jr. as well as Mr. Briggs. And this is a negotiated disposition, so I won't belabor many points here, but I do feel that the record needs to be clear that Mr. Mashaw was the sergeant that night. But more than that, he was the lead sergeant. As we found in the trial, he was solely and individually responsible in his own mind for that use of force on Mr. Brooks. So while Mr. Brooks was being beaten, while Mr. Brooks was deteriorating before his eyes, that was Mr. Mashaw's responsibility. And he did nothing. He didn't help Mr. Brooks. He didn't protect Mr. Brooks. He didn't get Mr. Brooks treatment. He walked out of the room after Mr. Brooks had been stripped down to his underwear, clearly in absolute crisis, and he mocked him. And we saw that. It was captured on video as he looked at Sergeant Trombley, and he arranged his hands as Mr. Brooks' hands were being held up by his head while Mr. Brooks was dying. For all of that, Your Honor, while we understand that Mr. Mashaw never touched Mr. Brooks, he was deeply responsible. And it is important for all of us.
Let me say this real quick before I continue. I did a whole video on this. Robert Brooks and these Marcy Correctional officers. And I said I would stay on the case, and I certainly did stay on the case. And then someone asked me, could I go live with these 4? Because I think only 4 took a deal, but 2 are going to go to court. I would like to do that live too. But anywho, if you have not checked out the video that I did on Robert Brooks and the Marcy correctional officers, you can see, clearly see, because I did show the video on how they beat him to death. Literally. Let's keep going.
For the justice system as a whole, that he be held accountable as we've agreed that he would be today. He will deserve every second of the sentence that you will impose. Thank you.
Your Honor, thank you. Mr. Mashaw has accepted responsibility for what occurred, but there's much more to Michael Mashaw than December.
Oh Lord, here y'all go. It's
Michael
so
Mashaw
much
is
more
devoted
to
his
him.
faith, devoted to his family, devoted to his friends.
I bet
as
his family ain't
evidenced
know
by
he's
character letters that
unalive
sent out,
people.
including two letters by two incarcerated individuals who credited Mr. Mashaw for his fine work in guiding them to a better life. The tragic events of December are not in dispute, but there's much, much more to Michael Mashaw than the events of that day. He accepts responsibility and he's prepared to serve the sentence.
Counsel, Mr. Mashaw, was there anything you want to say prior to your sentencing? No, Your Honor.
Oh, he's like, he gonna cry.
Impose the agreed upon sentence. I did review the character letters that were submitted. They speak very well of you, Mr. Mashaw. Appreciate your service to our country. The words of the prosecution are well put here in the sense that some of us got to spend a lot of time watching and rewatching that video in the recent trial of this matter. There's individuals responsible for what they did. I couldn't help but notice as you stood there, while this unfolded. The seal of the state of New York on one shoulder, the American flag on the other shoulder. You were there for us. You were the purpose. The person who had the authority, whose job it was, the reason you were there was to make sure something like this didn't happen. You were in the best position.
The reason you were there.
You didn't.
To say stop, and he didn't. Tell him, Judge. Tell him.
For the crime of manslaughter in the second degree, the defendant is hereby sentenced to an indeterminate sentence of imprisonment, having its minimum 3 years, its maximum 9 years in prison. In addition, there's imposed a mandatory surcharge, crime victim, and DNA fees totaling $375. Defense committed.
Well, it ain't 22. Don't be looking all scared and pitiful now. I sure would love to go interview y'all on how y'all doing over there in that prison.
David Walker.
Uh-oh. That's big country.
Against David Walters, indictment 25035. This matter is on for sentencing. Back on September 22nd, the defendant pled guilty to one count of manslaughter in the second degree with the agreed upon sentence being 2 1/3 of 7 years in state prison, along with mandatory state surcharges. Is that the people's understanding?
It is, Your Honor.
Mr. Pascal, that's your understanding.
It is, Your Honor.
People that approve sentence.
You do.
Would you like to be heard?
Again, briefly, Your Honor, the statements of Mr. Brooks and Mr. Ricks, again, we would incorporate and we would rely on that to speak for Mr. Brooks himself. But one more time, something doesn't
Please
be
hit
said
the
about
light.
Mr. Walters himself
Please
and
hit the light.
what he and his actions
Please
and his
hit the
conduct
light. When you
show
come on
about
in.
really the incarcerative system as a whole, as it stands. I expect we'll hear that Mr. Walters didn't do anything, that he wasn't in the room very much, and those things may be true, but he was in it, he was around.
Can I get another like? Can I get another like? Please hit the like.
The worst portions of the assault, we know that.
Oh my gosh. Hit the like.
And
Hit the
not
like.
only
It is
did he not
free.
do anything,
I don't want a cash app. I don't want nothing. I just want you to subscribe and hit
that
the
is what
like.
makes this case so important and what makes it so important. The violence is bad, and watching a group of people in a position of power abusing and ultimately killing a helpless, restrained man is bad.
It's terrible.
What was worse is the indifference about it. What's worse is that there were corrections officers in that room, and Mr. Walters among them, who didn't seem
Sad
to
thing
think
goes
that
on
any
every
of this
day.
was even out of the ordinary. There was no look of shock. There was no surprise. There was no sense of urgency about any of it.
Because they was used to doing
This
it.
is routine for them. That more than anything
This time they
else
just got caught.
was what we took away from that video. And, Your Honor, that can't be the case. This can't be the routine. This cannot be how incarcerated individuals are treated.
Well, they are.
And this defendant going to prison, despite not touching Mr. Brooks, won't bring Mr. Brooks back.
Absolutely not.
It'll disrupt that routine. It will change how those people in those walls view their job. This was not acceptable. What Mr. Walters did was not acceptable. And he needed to be better. And going forward, I hope every corrections officer.
Well, he'll do better next time. Because, see,
what happens
when you know better, you do
Mr.
better.
Walters to be sentenced to as
I'm sure he knew better. He just didn't want to do better.
That's why.
Thank you, Your Honor. At this point, I believe I've exhausted all that can be said with regard to Mr. Walters in this matter and this venue. Thank you.
Is there anything that you would like to say prior to being sentenced?
No, sir.
And as to the conviction for manslaughter in the second degree, the defendant is hereby sentenced to an indeterminate sentence of imprisonment having its minimum 2 1/3 years as its maximum 7 years in state prison. In addition, there is
1/3.
imposed a mandatory surcharge, crime victim, and DNA
Man
fees.
dies, he get 2 1/3.
The defendant is committed for the term of the sentence.
Your Honor, may I approach next level, PSI, for the court?
Big country say I can do this, no problem. I can do this. 2 1/3, I'll be out in a year. Yeah. We don't care. Well, guys, that was it of this live. But I want to go live with another one. I'm just not going to go right now, okay? Because I need you to come in and hit the like. Now I'm going to sing my song again. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. Oh, I don't want this to come up because this is a terrible thing.
He's got it.
Ooh, this is a terrible thing. That's a terrible thing. That's a terrible thing. And then they're going to say, oh, this is restricted. Okay? But this is what I want to do. Sing my song. When you, please hit the like. Please hit the like when you come on in. You know black people make a song after everything. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. Keep me in the algorithm. Share this video. Like the video. Share it, like it. Share it, like it. And subscribe. Ooh, come on down to Soul Train. And subscribe. Let's get it. And subscribe. Woohoo. And subscribe. Okay. I thank you all for entering, even though y'all still don't pay attention and hit the goddamn like.